Okay, so get this right. I was reading this article, and it was talking about hoodoo and voodoo.
Hmm.
And, like, I always thought they were basically, the same thing, just kind of different names.
Right.
But this piece really made me think twice, you know? Like, the way they break it down, there's actually a huge difference. I'm like, whoa, I never thought about it that way before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that. It's easy to lump them together, right? Because
Mhm.
the names are so similar and they both, get associated with certain imagery.
For sure, like all the herbs and candles and stuff, right?
Exactly.
But what this piece really drove home for me is that at their core, they're totally different.
Hmm.
We're talking apples and oranges here, not just like Granny Smith versus Honeycrisp. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. So for everyone listening, let's untwist this whole hoodoo versus voodoo thing,
Well,
right?
let's do it. Lay it on us.
Okay, so our source today, and they're really passionate about this, by the way, they make this really clear distinction that I think is super helpful. They say hoodoo, right? It's all about using magic in a practical way.
Practical magic.
Yeah. It's about like personal empowerment. Like how can I use these practices, these traditions to improve my life, to overcome obstacles, that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's not just about like casting spells or whatever.
Right. It's about like taking control of your own destiny, using what you know, using the power you have within you.
I like that.
Now, on the flip side, you have voodoo.
Okay.
And voodoo, that's a religion. It has its own deities, rituals, priests, the whole nine yards.
So like a more structured, organized kind of thing.
Exactly. And the source we're looking at today, they actually go into the history of all this, which I think is super fascinating.
Okay, hit me with it.
So picture this. You're an enslaved African in the American South.
Heavy stuff.
It's brutal. You've been ripped away from your home, your family, your traditions, everything you know. It's hard to even imagine.
And in this new horrific reality,
Yeah.
you're trying to hold on to something, anything that gives you strength, that gives you hope.
Makes sense.
And so hoodoo emerges from this incredibly difficult and painful history. It's a blend of different African traditions that people were able to hold on to,
Wow.
mixed with elements of Native American practices and even some Christianity that they were exposed to.
So it's like this amazing fusion of different cultures and beliefs.
Absolutely. And it became this way for people to survive, to find some agency, some power in a system that was designed to completely strip them of that.
Yeah, and that really comes through in how the source describes hoodoo practices too. Like they talk about using roots, candles, even pieces of the Bible. It feels very like hands-on, DIY magic.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's another key difference from voodoo, which, like we said, is much more formalized. Like at the center of voodoo, you have the Loa.
Oh.
They're these powerful spirits who act as intermediaries to the divine.
Oh, interesting. Oh, and offerings and ceremonies dedicated to the Loa are like a central part of voodoo practice.
Gotcha, gotcha. So to be crystal clear for our listeners, like we're not just splitting hairs here. Hoodoo and voodoo, they come from different places. They're practiced in different ways. They serve different purposes, right?
100%. Hoodoo, it's this folk magic tradition, very practical, very much about personal empowerment. It was born out of the struggle of enslaved Africans in America and speaks to their resilience and adaptability. And then you have voodoo, a more structured religion with its own complex system of beliefs and rituals, primarily practiced in Haiti and New Orleans.
Two fascinating traditions, both with rich histories, but definitely not the same thing.
Exactly. And it makes you think, right? Like, if they're so different, why do we get them mixed up so often? What does that say about how we as a society understand and categorize different spiritual traditions, especially those with roots in marginalized cultures? Something to chew on, maybe.
Definitely something to think about. Okay, everyone, another deep dive in the books. Until next time.